All right, so you're ready to turn those pennies into poker glory.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting down at a micro-stakes table, right?
Yeah.
You've probably heard it said that these tables are full of loose cannons.
Right.
Players who haven't quite grasped that whole folding concept. Well, this deep dive is all about turning those rookie mistakes into your winning strategy.
I love it.
Yeah, we're diving into a guide that's absolutely packed with ways to exploit those common tendencies you'll see at these stakes.
What's so fascinating about these micro stakes games is just how much psychology comes into play. It's like you're not just playing cards, you're playing against your opponent's emotions.
Right.
And this guide is really all about learning how to read those emotions and then use those to your advantage.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
The first strategy really stood out to me. It's all about maximizing your wins when you do have the goods.
Yeah.
Value betting.
It's such a fundamental principle in poker, right?
Yeah.
But at Microlimits, it's like printing money.
Oh.
The guide actually gives an example. Let's say you have top pair, but with a weak kicker.
Okay.
Now, a lot of beginners would see that pair, think, okay, I've got this.
Right.
But you, with your savvy understanding of value betting, there's an opportunity here.
Right, because they're so married to that top pair.
Exactly.
They'll chase you down even if you bet bigger.
Absolutely.
Maybe even overbet the pot.
It doesn't matter to them. They are chasing.
What's
They're not
left?
thinking about pot odds. They're not thinking about hand ranges.
Right.
They're thinking about, I've got top pair, I'm going to win this.
Right.
And that's where you capitalize. You're not just winning the current hand, you're solidifying your image as someone who extracts maximum value.
So it's almost like you're training them to pay you off in the future, too.
Precisely.
Wow.
Now, while value betting is super crucial post-flop, this guide also dives into how to control the game before the flop even happens, specifically with aggressive 3-betting.
Oh, I like where this is going.
You're not just calling their raise, you're raising them back.
Right.
Putting the pressure on them.
Yeah.
I love that aggressive energy.
I love that aggressive energy.
And the guide points out that this works especially well at Microlimits because players tend to open with these really wide, often weak ranges.
Yeah, they're just itching to see flops.
Oh, yeah. Chasing those long shot dreams.
Right.
So when you 3-bet, you force them into this tough spot. Are they really going to risk it all with a hand that they shouldn't even be playing?
Right.
It's like you said, you become the conductor of this poker symphony.
Yeah.
You're dictating the tempo. You're forcing them to dance to your tune.
Love it.
This ties into another key strategy the guide highlights. Positional awareness.
Oh.
Think of it this way.
Okay.
Imagine playing poker, but one of your hole cards is face up for everyone to see.
Oh, that sounds terrifying. I would be so vulnerable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the disadvantage of being out of position.
Right.
But when you're in the late position, let's say you're on the button,
Okay.
you get to see how everyone else has acted before you have to make your move.
Right.
It's like having that one card face up, but it's their card, not yours.
That's such a good analogy. That makes perfect sense.
Right.
You wouldn't want to go all in with a weak hand if you were the first one to act, right?
Exactly.
That's why the guide stresses playing a tighter range in early position.
Absolutely.
You have to be more cautious when you don't have as much information.
Playing from early position is like navigating a maze in the dark.
Wow. Yeah.
You've got to be extra careful, pick your spots wisely.
Right.
But when you're on the button,
Yeah.
you've got a flashlight and you can see exactly where you're going.
I love that.
Okay.
All right, bring on that flashlight. So being in late position, it's like you've got this superpower.
It is a superpower.
You get to see how everyone else reacts before you even have to think about showing your cards.
I love it.
It's brilliant.
It's one of the most powerful tools in a poker player's arsenal,
Yeah.
especially in these micro stakes games.
Right.
The guide actually gives this great example. Imagine you're in the big blind. Now, usually that feels like a disadvantage, right?
Right. You're forced to put in money before you've even seen anything.
But watch what happens when someone in early position limps in.
Okay, I'm picturing this. They toss in a couple chips, hoping to see a cheap flop.
Yeah.
What's that tell us?
9 times out of 10, they're holding a weak hand. They're being timid,
Okay.
hoping to sneak their way to a showdown.
Right.
But you, my friend, you're holding the power in this situation.
This is where it gets really interesting because I'm in the big blind. I've already put in my blind.
You're already there.
So I can raise right then and there.
Exactly.
Put the pressure right back on them.
Boom. Suddenly, their weak hand is staring down a raise and they're out of position.
It's brutal.
It's the ultimate micro-stakes bluff catcher.
Wow.
This guide really emphasizes recognizing these common patterns.
Yeah.
You'll see them again and again at these tables.
So beyond just limping in early, are there other tells or habits that this guide calls out.
Oh,
Like ways to sniff out those easily exploited weaknesses.
absolutely. You'll find players who consistently overplay top pair,
Right.
chasing after any two cards on the board,
Right.
or those that fold to any sign of aggression,
Well,
making them easy targets for some well-timed bluffs.
it's like you're building a mental database of each player at the table.
Yes.
Their tendencies, their quirks even.
It's all data.
Yeah.
That's exactly what separates those casual players from those consistent winners.
Right.
We're not just playing the cards, you're playing the player.
Right.
It becomes this fascinating game of observation and adaptation.
I'm starting to see how addictive this can be.
Mm-hmm.
You're always analyzing, adjusting,
Oh, yeah.
trying to one-up your opponents.
It's a mental sport.
But amidst all this excitement, we can't forget about the practical side of poker,
Right.
managing our bankroll,
Well, there it is, bankroll management.
which thankfully this guide also dives into.
Yes, yes.
The crucial element that sometimes gets overlooked, especially by those just starting out.
Often overlooked.
It's all well and good to win a few hands,
Right.
but without proper bankroll management,
Right.
those winnings can disappear faster than you can say bad beat.
Oh, yeah. Seen it happen.
So what's this guide's take on staying financially sound while we're navigating these micro-stake streets?
Discipline.
Like-
Setting those limits.
Okay.
You need to determine a bankroll, an amount that you are comfortable losing,
Mm-hmm.
and then stick to it no matter what.
No chasing losses.
No chasing those losses.
No betting outside your comfort zone.
Think of it as your poker safety net.
I love that analogy.
Right.
It's about separating your ego from your chip stack.
100%, because we all know
Yeah.
how easy it is to get caught up in the heat of the moment.
Right.
This guide emphasizes that microlimits are a stepping stone.
Okay.
They're about building that solid foundation, honing
Yeah.
your skills,
Yeah.
gradually increasing your bankroll so you can move up to those higher stakes games.
So instead of looking at them as just pennies, it's really about building that poker empire.
There you go.
Brick by virtual brick.
I like it.
But to do that, we need to avoid those common pitfalls that can wipe out a bankroll before it even has a chance to grow.
Exactly. This guide encourages you to view each session as part of a larger journey.
Okay.
You're not going to win every hand. You're not going to win every session.
Right.
There are going to be ups, there are going to be downs, there are going to be swings in fortune.
Mm-hmm.
But by managing your bankroll responsibly,
Yeah.
you're essentially weathering those inevitable storms and coming back stronger.
It's about playing the long game,
Yes.
playing smart, building those skills over time.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
I like it.
And by mastering these 4 key areas that this guide lays out,
Okay.
value betting, pre-flop aggression, positional awareness, and bankroll management,
Yeah.
you're giving yourself the best possible chance of reaching that finish line.
And maybe even crossing it with a mountain of chips in tow.
Let's go.
But beyond the tangible rewards,
Mm-hmm.
what I'm really appreciating about this guide is its emphasis on the mental game.
So important.
It's about observation. It's about adaptation.
Yeah,
It's really about getting inside your opponent's heads.
absolutely. It's about recognizing that poker at its core is a game of imperfect information.
Right.
You are constantly trying to fill in the blanks,
Wow.
decipher those subtle cues, and make the most profitable decision based on the limited information that you have.
Right. It's like solving a puzzle, but the pieces keep changing.
All the time?
And sometimes the puzzle is trying to solve you right back.
That's right.
No wonder people get hooked on this game.
It's the best.
It's like they say, poker's a game of skill disguised as luck.
Oh, yeah.
And this guide really pulls back the curtain on that skill, showing you how to tilt those odds in your favor,
Right.
even when those virtual cards are flying fast at those micro-stakes tables.
It's true, and one of the most powerful skills you can develop at any stakes, really,
Yeah.
is the ability to analyze your own game.
Right.
It's not enough to just play the hands.
Yep.
You have to dissect them.
Yeah.
Learn from your mistakes. And constantly refine those strategies.
So it's like having a poker coach.
Yeah.
But the coach is, you're analyzing those past hands.
Yeah.
You're figuring out where you could have bet big or folded sooner,
Mm-hmm.
or bluffed your way to a win.
Exactly. This guide even encourages the use of tools like hand history reviewers or tracking software.
Okay.
But honestly, it can be as simple as just taking a few minutes after each session
Right.
to think about your play.
Okay.
Where did you make the most profit?
Right.
What mistakes cost you chips.
You know that feeling when you totally misjudge a hand?
Oh, yeah.
You're just kicking yourself like, how did I not see that coming?
Happens to the best of us.
Well, this self-analysis is all about turning those moments into learning opportunities.
100%. And what's so great about Microlimits is that it provides this lower risk environment to make those mistakes and learn from them.
Yeah.
The players you're up against are more likely to make errors themselves,
Right.
giving you ample opportunity to really sharpen those analytical skills.
It's like a training ground for your poker brain.
I love that.
You can test out strategies, see what works, and adjust along the way.
It's a process.
This guide really emphasizes that continuous learning process, doesn't it?
It does. It stresses that becoming a winning poker player, it's not about memorizing a set of rules.
Right.
It's about developing this deep understanding of the game.
Okay.
Honing your instincts.
Right.
And adapting to the ever-changing dynamics at the table.
So even though this guide focuses on microlimits,
Yeah.
I'm guessing a lot of these principles could be applied to higher stakes as well.
Oh, absolutely.
It's about building that solid foundation first.
Precisely. The fundamentals of poker remain the same, whether you're playing for pennies or for thousands.
Right.
You'll encounter tougher opponents as you move up.
Sure.
But those core skills, reading players, understanding bet sizing, exploiting weaknesses,
Right.
those will serve you well no matter the stakes.
It's like learning to ride a bike
There you go.
on a nice, safe, grassy field before hitting the open road. Microlimits give you that space to practice,
Right.
to fall down, get back up again.
Yeah.
All while you're only risking relatively small amounts.
Lower the stakes, the lower the pressure.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe one day you'll look back at your micro stakes days
Yeah.
as a fond memory.
Yeah.
The humble beginnings of your poker journey.
And love it.
From microlimits to main event champion. It's all possible.
Anything's possible.
Well, listeners, we've reached the end of our deep dive into this incredible micro stakes strategy guide.
This was a good one.
It really was.
Yeah.
You've got the value betting, the aggressive 3-bets, the power of position, and of course the importance of protecting your bankroll.
All the good stuff.
But here's a final thought-provoking question for you to ponder.
Okay.
If you could whisper one piece of advice to yourself before you sat down at your first micro stakes table, what would it be?
Ooh, good one.
Think about it. Let those poker dreams fuel your climb to the top.
Let's go.
Until next time, may the flop be with you.